sing a song, have a prayer.
Come we that love the Lord and let our joy be known. Join in a song with sweet accord. Join in a song with sweet accord. And thus surround the throne, and thus surround the throne. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to Zion, the beautiful city of God. Let those refuse to sing who never knew our God, but children of the heavenly King, but children of the heavenly King, may speak their joys abroad, may speak their joys abroad. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to Zion, the beautiful city of God. The hill of Zion is 1,000 sacred sweet. Before we reach the heavenly field, before we reach the heavenly field, or walk the golden street, or walk the golden street. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to Zion, the beautiful city of God. And let our songs abound in every tear be dry. We're marching through Emmanuel's ground. We're marching through Emmanuel's ground to fairer worlds on high, to fairer worlds on high. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to Zion, the beautiful city of God. Dear God, we come to you now just thankful for the blessing that you've given us, that we're able to come here and worship you, that we're able to spend time together in your word, singing praises to you, Lord. Father, we ask that you be with us, that everything we do here be in accordance with your word, Lord. And Father, we ask that you be with everybody who's not able to be here with us tonight, that if they are unhealthy, that you restore them back to their health. Father, we love you, we love your Son. In his name that we pray. Amen.
If you'd like to mark your book, 608, we'll do the song after the lesson. 608. Four, we'll sing 246. 246.
I love to tell the story of dancing things above, of Jesus and his glory, of Jesus and his love. I love
that you had a Bible class where you focused in on the selfishness of Jesus. Be a pretty short class, wouldn't it? And maybe more accurately, a non-existent class. Because we recognize the fact that there wasn't a thing that he ever did that could be labeled selfish. Our world encourages selfishness, almost demands it. And yet, when we do something selflessly, we're considered to be unique in our behavior. When we think about being followers of Jesus, one of the passages that I consider to be kind of a capsule of what discipleship is. It's found in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21, where it says, "To this you were called, because Christ suffered for you, leaving you an example that you should follow in his steps." And you might say, well, sometimes I have to do some things for myself. And there's probably some validity to that. Because there's no doubt that God on the seventh day, He didn't just not create. On the seventh day, He created rest. And I believe that gift to us was probably about as valuable as just about any other gift. That's a pretty big generalization in that statement, and I don't know that I could defend it in court. But He certainly gave us a great gift when He gave us rest, because we need rest. I need rest. If I don't get rest, I'm not easy to live with. I'm not just a Grinch, I'm a grouch. And so we need the rest, don't we? But when it comes to acting in a way of self-promotion, a lot of times that's an obstacle that's difficult to overcome as well. Because we like to do things, but we also like to be recognized when we do those things. But at the same time, when we follow in the footsteps of Jesus, there are so many times when He talks about, and in the book of Philippians alone, I believe there's 5 times that Paul mentions the term selfish ambitions. And, I think it's pretty telling of the fact that here is this church at Philippi that Paul esteems probably higher than any other congregation that he encounters. And 5 times he mentions and even warns them against selfish ambitions. And so that might tell us something about the church at Philippi, that even though they were a strong church, a very prolific church, a church that Paul valued very highly, maybe they struggled with selfish ambitions. And look at being selfish. That is, to me, one of the difficult things to overcome. Because we do have a tendency to be a little selfish, to act with selfish ambitions, to promote self, because we know a lot more about what it's like to be self-motivated, to have that recognition that we do about being selfless. It all culminates, I believe, in a statement that Paul writes to the the churches of Galatia. In Galatians chapter 2, in verse 20, familiar passage to us, that says, I have been crucified with Christ. This is Paul, obviously. And I no longer live. Very selfless statement. I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. He was fully human. And so all of that pain leading up to the cross and including the cross, he felt like you and I would. It was excruciating. It was relentless. It was deep pain. And I think probably all of us know the difference between pain and deep pain. If you've had, for instance, a back injury and felt that deep pain in your back, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe there's been some other situation where you felt deep pain. He felt it deeply. But not just physically, but spiritually. And yet through it all, even though there was such severe pain, such physical pain, and to me, I still promote the idea of the fact that the pain that he experienced that was most severe was the spiritual pain of bearing my sin and your sin and the sin of all mankind. But through it all, he gave himself for me. So here's the challenge that we face as Christians, as followers of Christ, to follow in his steps, to overcome that tendency we, I believe, naturally have as fallen people, to be people of selfish ambition, to promote self, to be selfish. We're challenged by the example of Jesus that we have been called to follow, to be selfless. I look across this group tonight and I see a lot of selfless people. And you might say, well, he's not talking about me. I can be pretty selfish. And I'm one of them too. But at the same time, I also know that in our finest hours, those are the hours when we're selfless and we put the ambitions, the interest of other people ahead of our own. And that's when God is glorified and when Jesus is exalted to the place that he deserves. And that's first place in our lives. So tonight, you and I are the recipients of that selflessness. We have no class. We have no discussion. We have no lesson to give about his selfishness because it didn't happen, didn't exist. And so tonight, if you would like to be the recipient of that selflessness that he gave to us at the cross and become a Christian and become that selfless person tonight, you have that opportunity. To the Christian, let's grow in our selflessness and let's diminish our selfishness. If you need to respond, please do so as together we stand and sing.